I'm going to read the adventure of Huckleberry Finn. Speaking is very difficult task, and I try to talk about Crimson Tide, which I watched, but it's not easy. So and then, yeah, I failed to finish speaking about the Crimson Tide. So I need to practice more, and then actually speaking without preparation is not easy. Right, then so I'm going to read it, chapter 22. There you go. There is one often toward a shepherd's house of roofing and raising like crimson. Everything had cleared away and gathered on over, from mush and was awful scene. Children was shooting right off the moon and screaming, trying to get out of the way. Every window and the room below was full of women's head, and there was a nigger voice in every tree, and bugs and wenches, and looking over every fence. And as soon as the mob began nearly, then they would break and then scrabble. Scatters the back out of which lots of the women, and the girls was crying and taking on and scared most to death. There is one of the in front of the chevrons and howling that they could jump together, and you couldn't hear yourself for the noise. It was a little 20-foot, and no like some out into down the fence. And down the fence, and then there was just lucky lifting and tearing and smashing and down it goes. The front wall of the crowd and begins to roll in like a wave. Just then the shepherd stepped out onto the roof of his little front porch with a double barrel gun in his hand, take his stand and probably came at the little rate. Not saying a word, and the light stopped and then the wave sucked back. Chevron did not say a word, and then just stood there looking down. The series was awfully sleepy, uncomfortable. Chevron to learn. His eyes slowed along the crowd, and then wherever it struck, and the people quiet was good. To catch him about they couldn't, they dropped their eyes and sneaking, and then the prisoners and children started laughing at the present kind. It's the kind that makes you feel like when you are eating bread. Just got an inch. Then he says, and slow and stumble. The idea of you and riches and everybody's amusing, the idea of you thinking you had to plan enough to strange because you are brave enough to spy and the saddest and poorest and friendliness and cast out him, and that's on here did not make you think you had a grit enough to lay your hands on a man. Why a man safe in the hands of 10,000 of your kind, as long as it's daytimes and you are not the end. Finally, Simon who was born and raised in the south, living in the north, so I know that every year round the average man's in cold, and in the north, the less anybody's work over in that one too, and goes home and prays. It's the 400 feet to bury it. In the south, one man always by himself. I stopped and stayed full of men in the daytime, and the roar a lot. Your newspapers call you or brave people. The most that you think you are braver than any other people. Whether you just as brave and no bravest. Why don't your securities hang murderers? Because they are afraid a man's friends will shoot them in the back, in the dark, and just to what they would do. So they always refuge, and then a man goes in the night with a red mask cord at his back and wrenches the lascars that you're mistaken. Hey, you didn't bring a man with you, and that's one mistake. And the other is that you didn't come in the dark, cut your masks, you're the boat to spot of a man, but happens. Then if you had him to start you, you're taking it out and blowing, and then you didn't want to come. The average man don't like troubles and danger. You don't like trouble and dangers, but if you only have a man to like a harvest, there's a human lynch to him. When you change the use operators to back down, so for you to found out to be where you are at the moment. And you raise this well and then hangs and yourself to that husband is called cave. I'm writing stuff here, swearing that what big things you are going to do. The pitifully thing out is a mold. That's what the army is, a mold. They don't fight with this courage that's born in them, but with this courage that's borrowed from their master and then from their officers. But I'm not without and man, they have always ceased to finish the pitifulness. Now the thing for you to do is to do to your terrorist in the home and encourage in the home. If anyone here lynching going to be done, it will be done. And the dark and certain fashion, and when they come upstairs, bring their mask, and the better men on. Now leave, take your upper man with you, and tossing his guns to the closed his laptop and talking to when he said this. God watch the backs and certain. And then vocal part, and then carrying out in every which way, and the doctor half be healed after them, looking terrible cheap, and I could have stayed if I wanted to choose it, but I didn't want to. Going to the circus that looked around the backside till the watchman and went by, and then dived in under the tent. I had my $20 goldfish, some other money, but I like on my brother's favorite, and because there ain't no telling the how soon you're going to need it. Away from home, among strangers that way, you can't be too careful. I ain't in the first spending the money on suckers that when there ain't no other way, but there ain't no use wasting content. But they'll get the fully sucker with a splendid supply that ever was when they all come riding and toward tourists that gentleman right side by side with a man just in their clothes and then undershirts. The shoes, nor soft, losing their hands on their thigh. You then come over they must have been trained of them, and every day is the very lovely complexion and hopefully food, looking just like a gang sure enough to things and dressing clothes and costing millions of dollars and just referred over their diamonds. It was a powerful fine sight. I never say anything so lovely. And then one by one they got all their shoes and went up the weaving and around the lane and so jetted. Waving and graceful the man, looking ever so tall and airy and straight, with their heads roving and skimming so long. Away up there, under the tent to the fan, and every lady slows and a leafy dresses supporting so sitting around her hips and she looking like the most lovista parasol. And then dressed and dressers in their wraps. All of them dancing is the first one put out in the air, and then the others, the horses, leading somewhere around. And the Ringmaster going around and around the center force, striking his feet and the shouting high. And the clown scratching jokes behind him to right and by all hands dropped like lanesons. Every lady put a knuckles on her hips and every young man to forward his arms, and then how the horses did really when how to enter them. So one after the other, they all skipped it off the stream and made the sweetest bow I ever see, and then I scampered out and everybody clapped their hands and then went just about the line. Well, all through the circus stayed on the most astonished things, and all time they promised and carried on. He saw it, and most killed as people, the Ringmasters could never say a word. But to him, his body was backed at him and treated as a wink, and it was the funniest thing of the body ever said, and how he ever could think of so many of them, and so sudden and so fast. But what I couldn't know it. Understand why I couldn't throw him in years, and by a drunk man, but to get him to the ring, said he wanted to lie it, and said to lie as well as anybody that was ever. They argued and tried to keep him out, but he wouldn't listen. The whole show was come to a standstill. Then the people began to howl at him and make fun of him. That made him mad, and he began to look and tear, and so the stir of the people, a lot of men had begun to fly down out of the benches and swarm toward the ring, saying, knocking down, threw him out. All the two women began to screams, and this Ringmaster, he made a little speech, started hope in their own, disturbance. If the man would promise he wouldn't make no more trouble, he would let him lie. He thought he could stay on the horse. So everybody laughed and said it's all right, and the man got on. The minute he was on, and the horse began to whip and tear and jump and come around. Just with the two suckers, the man's hanging on to his really trying to hold him. And the drunken man hanging onto his neck, and his heels flying in the air. Every jump and the whole crowd of the people standing up, the shouting and the laughing tears. Low down, Elijah. Sure enough, all the circumstances could do, the horse broke loose, and away went like a nation round and round the ring. But that sword was laying down on him and hanging to his neck, with first one leg and was to the ground on one side, and then others then the one to the other side, and the people were just crazy. It was wonderful to me, though. I was all overcome to see his danger. But very soon, he struggled up a splendor and grabbed the riders that was willing his way, and the next minute, and he sprung up and then dropped the riders too, and the horse is going, and like in a house, the fire too just stood up there, sailing around as easy, as comfortable as if he wanted to have a drunk in his life, and then he began to full of his sword and sling him, and shut himself thick. And it's kind of the cloud of the air, and altogether it's the shirt, 17 shirt. And the was slim and handsome and dressed as a ghost and prettiest he ever saw. And he too into that horses with his hip and made him prepare an account. The blind skipped off and then made himself out and danced off to the dressing room, and everybody just holding with his pleasure. That's funny for months. And the Ringmaster, he sees how he had been killed. It was the sixth Ringmaster that you ever see at Leckham, but it was one of his own men, and he had got up the job all out of his own hand and never let one to nobody. Well, I suppose the shoot enough to be taken so, and but I wouldn't be in that Ringmaster's place for $1,000. I don't know. There may be several years to suffer, and what is one word? I never struck them yet. Anyways, it was plenty good enough for me, and whenever I learn about it, I can have all my customers every time. But that night, we had our shows, but there weren't only about 12 people there, just enough to pay 10. And they laughed all the time about that mildew matter. Everyone laughed. Anyways, before the show was already one boy, and which he was asleep. So the Duke, Arkansas. 네, 여보세요? 아, 네. 잠시만요.